What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video on the channel. So today we got ourselves the VW ID. Where am I even going? We got ourselves the VW ID. Now this is a very cool car because this is a Pikes Peak car, but it is fully electric, so it doesn't make a noise. Pretty much, it's fairly quick stock. Again, it is a Pikes Peak car. It's got a ton of torque, like a huge amount of torque. So it doesn't matter where you are, you're going uphill, you're going sideways, whatever, it just constantly wants to pull. Well, I mean, that's the beauty of fully electric car. It's just that instant torque. Now the thing is with this car, it doesn't really make a ton of power. It makes about 600 horsepower. So for what it was built to do, especially obviously in real life, you know, when you're in a video game, it's a little bit different to real life. Especially in a game like this where you can add literally thousands of horsepower to the cars. It doesn't feel like it's very quick, but it does handle really well. It's just really planted and it sticks to the ground a lot. Now, we've taken a slight look at what this is like stock. I think it's time to go ahead and modify this thing. I want to add some stuff to it. I want to make it faster. I did check to see what sort of things can I do to make this thing faster, and I can change the motor and battery. I can get a little bit more power out of it. So right now, 670 horsepower, 650 newton meters of torque, and it weighs 1,100 kilos. So it's fairly decent so far. Now, if I do this, it'll make 1,000 horsepower. So 1,000 horsepower out of this thing should be kind of interesting. Weight, I don't think we can get the weight down quite a lot. I mean, we can change our tires if we really wanted to. I can go with some off-road tires, which isn't too bad. The only big issue I have with this car is because it's all built like this with all the aero and all that sort of stuff, it doesn't really feel like it should. I mean, we can even have like, I mean, this is the stock suspension is pretty much racing suspension, so I can still modify this thing. If I put this on, wait, can I even? I'm gonna just do this and I'm gonna mess around with that for the moment. It does handle really well still. Even with the off-road suspension, it's a little bit softer than before. Yeah, as you can see, our top speed is very low. So this is definitely not a car that we're going to be using to do any sort of like top speed runs at all. So around the 176 mark is where the top speed is for this thing. But I don't really want to have this thing just built for top speed. I mean, we can change some bits and pieces of this thing. I think if I change the ride height, it might get this thing to be a little bit faster by slightly lowering it. Nope, maybe not, I guess. I mean, here's the thing with this car. It isn't really built for top speed, right? As much as I'm doing all this sort of stuff, it isn't built for top speed. You can see even the aero is just fully on cornering, and it does help out a lot. So even with everything done, this thing can go to about 193 miles per hour. So it can't really break the 200 mile an hour mark. Maybe it can. I don't know if drafting works or whatever, but this is definitely not a top speed car. It is more of a handling car. So I'm going to bring my downforce all the way back to cornering again, and I'm going to try to do some events with this thing and try to see how fast I can take some of these corners and maybe even set some records. Hopefully, we'll see what it's like once we actually drive this thing. Now, instead of spending my time with my bad tunes, I thought I'd go ahead and give someone else a shot. And by someone else, I mean, let's just try Don Juan Song's tune, because he usually puts on some absolutely brilliant tunes up on the auction, or sorry, not the auction, but up on the storefront, pretty much, where you guys can just download your stuff. But he usually puts up some good stuff, so I thought, instead of me wasting my time trying to tune this thing, we try using one of his tunes. So again, it's super fast because of all that torque. You can see it spin its wheels very easily. But where this thing shines is around corners. So right now, as you can see, again, top speed wise, not really there, but I can feel how grippy this is. Every time I try to like take a corner, it like snaps in that direction very quickly. So the aero of this thing just helps it out a lot. It's really good for taking corners. Now, if I can somehow manage to find like a speed zone that maybe I can try and do with this car, let's have a look. Is there any? See, this one isn't that good because it's over 200 miles per hour. But like a speed zone that I have to sort of drive slow in, we should probably be able to beat it, but I don't really know which one I should go for. Again, anything over 200 miles per hour is just a no-go with this car. What about this? 142 miles per hour for this one. We could try and beat this. I don't even think I've done top 1,000 for this thing, so maybe we can try it. So the muzzler again is still there. There's this dude that used the VW IDR. 167 miles per hour. You know, I could try it. I can give it a shot. I don't know how fast I could possibly take those corners, but we have a good tune on now, so let's try it out with this thing. Let's see if it's any good. I definitely don't think it will be able to be like the Mulzer or anything like that. 100%. Not gonna happen, but I do think this might actually do quite well for some of these slower speed zones. Did I say drift zones before? I meant to say speed zones. This thing really grips hard. It grips really, really hard. 167 miles per hour. It's a personal best. It's not up there. That's the wrong thing. Go back. It's not really up there with the Moslers, but I mean, there you go. Pretty much fairly similar to what this dude ended up doing. So I'm about 4,000 in the world on this event. It's an interesting car. The thing is though, taking those corners will end up slowing me down quite a bit. And because it can't really accelerate well past like 180 miles per hour, this thing reaches its top speed fairly quickly, so it doesn't really have a long way to accelerate after that, so the power sort of just stops, I guess, once we get to like 170, 180. It's really fast. It's really cool though. It doesn't have a sound. It just makes it funnier to drive. I slowed down too much there because that wall. Let's go back one. There's 167 per 37. Yeah, it's fast, but it's not up there with being like some of the fastest cars in the game. It's cool to drive though. It is cool to drive. Again, some of these speed zones, they could go kind of well for you, but again, I still don't think it's up there with like the Mulzers and other stuff. It is a very cool looking car though. I mean, it's an electric Pikes Peak car. This thing handles really well. The rain does not... Okay, what's happening here? The rain does not help whatsoever here with the grip of this thing. Again, it has like instant torque, so it's just making no noise. It's just, there's no noise whatsoever. I've tried to pull in as tight as possible when I'm taking these corners as well. The clip in the walls, it's kind of annoying. 165, 164. See what I mean? Like, it doesn't accelerate past like 170 that quickly. Like, up to 160. Very quick. And then it just sort of slows down a lot. Because its top speed is very, very low. Yeah. It's a cool car. It's a cool car to get. It's not really that insane. I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit better for handling. Especially with its top speed. Like, I wish its top speed was a little bit higher. I wish it could get a little bit more power out of this thing. Then, I think this could really have been like a contender for the Mulzer or the 599XX Evo. But for right now, because this thing is very underpowered, yeah, it's just, it feels a little sluggish. It feels a little sluggish in this game. Now, I know what you guys are wondering, right? I know what you guys are wondering. I've driven this thing normally, but can I drift this car? Is it possible to drift the VW IDR Pikes Peak car fully electric? I think it is possible. A little bit of all-wheel drive drifting. How? How am I even doing this? It doesn't have drift suspension, so I mean, all of it, it's all just all-wheel drive drifting. Does it go sideways? Yeah, it does. Can you control it? Not really. It's a massive car as well, by the way. If you see me crashing into things, it's because I have no idea where the front end just ends. It's a huge car. There's so much like of an overhang in the back and the front end. Because I mean, like, look at that splitter and look at that wing. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I know you guys aren't wondering if I can actually drift this thing. I'm just making a joke. But either way, I think that was pretty much it for today's video with the VW IDR. I really wanted to see what it would be like to drive this thing. I haven't actually tested it out. I noticed, I saw what sort of options we can have and buy on this car, and I was like, you know what, it could be kind of interesting. But the the top speed issue, I think, just keeps this car from being like one of the best cars in the game. It is, I think, one of the best handling cars in the game, but right now, because of its really, really low top speed, it's just being held back. Which is very, very weird to say because it's a 1,000 horsepower fully electric car with a lot of torque. I mean, but yeah, like I said, top speed is just holding this car back from being one of the best cars in the game. Well, again, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos like this on the channel, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share it, do whatever you guys want. But that was pretty much it for the VW IDR. Alright, well, I'm done. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.